Good evening, everyone. Yesterday, we have paid for the etiquetting equipment on our balsam bottles, and today that equipment has already been delivered very fast, just within one day. I have never expected to receive it too fast because I asked a few companies and they told me that this is a semi-automatic etiquetting machine, and it has been very much in demand today because everybody is trying to produce sanitizers now. Therefore, all that equipment is being sold very fast. So I asked one company. They told me that I have to wait for 11 weeks, 4 weeks in another place, and I suddenly found a company where I could buy just one off. So they delivered it very swiftly. So let's have our webinar agenda. Just for you who have come here for the first time, or you who have not heard it, you can order balsam with deferred shipment. You can order now and pay now, and the shipment will be delivered once we produce the first batch. As scheduled, the first batch is going to be delivered by mid-July. And now we are depending on the consumables suppliers. They promised us to finish off their production by the end of next week. I mean, raw materials and the components of herbal plants, so we depend on those things now. As long as we get it, we could start production. Today is the 18th, 25th, so by mid-July it's gonna be there for sure. Maybe a few days earlier will we be able to produce the first batch. Please also be advised that all of you who have ordered balsam for preliminary order, the shipment for that pre-order will be paid by the company, so you can save a lot of money on that. The next moment for wholesalers. You may have discounts, so if you buy 30 plus bottles, the discount rate is 10%. If you buy 150 bottles, 15% discount, and 300 plus bottles, 20% discount. All of you who have participated in that competition, a video it's the first video response from our partners, from our company investors who have taken in that balsam in April and May, and they have good results. And that video material is our first response or first feedback. There will be another feedback today, and I would like to reiterate that all those who have consumed balsam, or anyone who would talk during our webinar the effects of that balsam, so everyone who make this balsam feedback would get another course of the balsam for free. And now I would like to invite Natalia to our webinar room. I hope she is available, and she is going to tell us about her balsam results. Natalia, can you hear me? Just let me check if you have access. Yes, you have access, so please turn on your camera if you can hear me, and please tell us about your experience. Natalia, are you there? Yes, I'm here. Hello. Natalia speaking. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Evgeny speaking. Natalia, yes, the weather in St. Petersburg is deteriorated. It's pitch dark and it's shower rain. I would like to tell you about my feedback on the balsam intake. I had problems with my joints, and first of all, I wanted to repair my health. I live in St. Petersburg. There is a high humidity here, and my joints have been giving me issues for 3 years now. Well, I relocated to St. Pete not long ago. I thought that it's gonna be fine, but I'm 45 years old. However, the pain was there. So I got it in April, and after 1 week after, or maybe the fifth day after, I could not tell you for sure, maybe on the sixth day, the pain has gone away, and I had very strong pain. To stand up in the morning, I had problems with my, fingers, with my feet joints, and I had to walk for a few just minutes to do so. I live outside in the countryside. I have to make breakfast, and I have to do lots of things, and it was a problem. And now I can run, I can wear high heels, and I'm fine. The second point with my health was some, issues in my breast. There was some tight spaces, and I had some, pain at the background of that coronavirus problem. So there could be many issues here, and that helped a lot. A week or more after, the pain has gone away, and that, tensions and that compaction has gone away. It's 2 months now since I began starting that balsam. There could be some inflammation, maybe the thyroid or something. What else? Thereafter, when you get older, you start having a bad sleep. You wake up at night. But now I can sleep well. But at this stage, during that coronavirus pandemic, and I was using those bottles for my son, for my husband. I just gave it to my husband just before night, and then when he woke up in the morning, he said to me that I woke up as a young man, as a young boy, and the same was true for my son. I'm going in for sports besides everything, and I had more energy now, and I have more power. I'm a very positive person, but I would say that it became much lighter for me to live. What else I can say about this balsam? First of all, it removes parasites in our body. As we intake lots of parasites with water and food, and you might have bad quality food, and this is a problem, including oncology problems. What else for women it can give? My skin became better, and I have already ordered this balsam. I hope that Evgeny would give me a gift, and I want to have one more full course because I want to improve my skin quality. What else? My husband told me that it was really helpful for men. He's a 6.5 feet man, but he became even better, like he's 25 years of age. You know what I mean? What else did I like about this product is that it is bitter. Bitter is good because whatever is bitter, it helps. As I studied many things myself, I have a medical background, and I have tested things on myself, so it's very helpful. I took it 3 times per day, 30 minutes before meals under my tongue, and I took two just glasses of water just afterwards. What else do I want to say about this? I began having issues with my teeth, and I wanted to have implants in autumn. However, the balsam worked very well, and it removes all the inflammation, and it came to my teeth as well. So I wanted to do it in September. I mean, to have implants installed, but I have to do it in May, on the 14th of May. It was a very complex surgery, so they have implanted a new tooth. Everything was fine, and for the last drops of the balsam I was using for that. Then it went well, and I'm going to wear a special device for 3 months, and then the implant will be fine. I want to thank you because it's a wonderful product. It works well. If you want to get slender, please take my advice, because I became more slender using that product. It purifies you, it restores your health, and 9,000 rubles is cheap in a good sense for such a product, which removes, all those issues and medical drugs. And this is a good prevention of bad oncology tumors. So you just have to use it for your benefit. And thanks to Yevgeny for such a wonderful product. I hope that he would have even more products on stream. Thanks, Natalia. Thanks, Yevgeny. Sorry, I must be going. I have to go. Bye bye. Well, she's a very positive girl, I would say. Well, as far as the product is concerned, a lot has been said, and let's switch to the business part of our conversation. Let's discuss our shares or participatory shares. Let me open the slide. The overall number of participatory shares is 2.4 million. This information is posted on our website in the company profile. 2.4 participatory shares. There is no provision for further emission of participatory shares. 2.4 million. 6.6 million are now being sold, which is 25% of the entire volume. Now, a total of 250,000 participatory shares have been sold. We're nearing a half. What do I want to say? Well, sorry. Look. This total number, 2.4 million, has a surplus. In case we have sold that 0.6 million participatory shares and we have a necessity for a further financing, we could take a few participatory shares out of that 0.8 million to have as extra funds if we need it. That would probably be that we don't need this. The dividends now. As I said as a previous seminar, now there is a chance to run a calculation for our dividends for the first product, which is the balsam. If we sell 60,000 bottles of balsam in a year for the price, if we don't make the price higher, which is 3,000 rubles per bottle, the net profit of the company would be $1.3 million, given tax and expenses for production. This is the net profit. Not maybe a clear figure, but uh, give or take 5%. If that happens, and if zero point 0.6 million participatory shares would be sold by that time, so the profit would be $2.4 per participatory share. So the dividends would not be calculated for 2.4 million, but for that volume of participatory shares. What is 60,000 bottles? 60K divided by 3 is 20,000 courses. 20,000 people who can buy one course. One course is just for prevention. If a human being undergoes treatment, he needs 2 or 3 courses. So even that 60K bottles is not going to be 20K purchases, maybe 15,000 purchases, which is a not very big volume. If the advertising campaign is streamlined well, that volume could be sold within 1 month with no problem. Now we're having a golden time for our product to enter the market, because everybody is going to boost their immune system. Everybody is afraid of coronavirus, and this is a big deal because I have people, my friends, who have fallen ill. Our IT manager, our legal guy have fallen ill. They're having fever now, staying at home. One is having pneumonia, and the other, I don't know. So it's a trendy thing, and if we do a very good advertising, we could market this volume just within 1 month, and then we could just accelerate to a certain extent to increase the production volume for that demand. This is just an example for you to understand. Well, the next point, the dividends. I have also mentioned during the previous webinar that dividends would be assigned for a certain scheme, and the scheme is as follows. The information is going to be posted soon on our official website and all sources. So all shares that have been purchased before the 15th of July 2020, the dividends would be accrued to 100%. Shares purchased from the 16th of July to the 16th of August, 90% of dividends would be accrued on that share. 16th August, 16th September, 70%. 16th September, 15th October, 60%. So it's going to be like this. And those who have purchased their shares earlier, before the 15th of July, they would have higher dividends for the first year. The shares that are not yet purchased or bought out, they would not be taken into account. Only those participatory shares who have been bought out would be subject to dividends. And those people who have invested earlier, they would have some advantage during the first year of investment in front of the other people. And starting next year, all investors who invested this year would have the same dividends. Everybody would have the same dividends since year 2. Next point. There is a thing which is a possible closing of investment ahead of time, and selling of participatory shares ahead of time. You could pay for your deferred payment shares, but sometimes it may happen that the selling of shares can be stopped at a certain moment. Why? We are going to start production of our first product soon, and if we have a good market position and if we had good sales, the company would have profit, and that profit would be spent on buying out shares which are outstanding. Why? To reduce the number of shares that we have paid dividends on. This is to reduce the spending profile of the company. So when the first product would have very good profit, the investment could be finished. This is an option. I wouldn't say that this may happen in a month. It's very unlikely. However, if there is a customer who is ready to pay just a preliminary volume of balsam, a big one, that is also possible. But if we consider a very smooth profile, I wouldn't say it is 1 month, it may be 3 or 4 months, give or take. However, this course of development is also possible. Next point, production. Well, you all have seen, maybe virtually all have seen, a little video in our Vkontakte group. A few pieces of etiquetting equipment have been delivered today for the bottles. The concentrate production is going to be there in 10 days' time, so by the end of next week. And now we are heavily dependent on that stage. Another pieces of equipment have been paid for, and it should be delivered up until the 25th. Next point. We're now dealing with just making a terms of reference for a production line manufacturing. That will be an automated balsam production line for balsam bottling, automatic corking. So it's just a full automated line. You just fill in the balsam itself. And I'm going to show you a short video from the producer. Well, it's a ready product, and what is missing is just to stick an etiquette on it and put it in a box. The production capacity of that line is 1000 plus bottles per hour. So if the production line is pretty good, we could deliver about 10,000 bottles per shift per day. If it's a 10-hour day, we could produce 10,000 bottles. And what's going to be in a month? 0.3 million bottles per month using that piece of equipment. This is real. Well, now the terms of reference is being drafted for the scope, for the volume of that bottle, what kind of cork, what kind of etiquette, what kind of viscosity, what is the raw material. The terms of reference is going to be sent out soon, and the production time for the fabrication of the production line is 2.5 months. So it's going to be end of August, early September that we will have full production, as I have mentioned. Anton, your calculation is wrong. If we multiply 22 by 10,000 pieces, is going to be 220,000 pieces. And the number of working days, theoretically, people may work 2 shifts, and it could be 2 days after 2 days, and there could be no vacation days or day offs in a month. There could be various options. Next point. What else is in the pipeline? Now, the documents are drafted for the company registration in Russia, which could be an official producer of the balsam and other products. I was not able to meet with our legal person yesterday. He has fallen ill. I could meet him in a week, I think. So the terms of reference for the balsam is in progress, and the certification documents are being drafted. So that the technical regulations will be delivered, and they will be just aligned with the company. The company has to be registered in a good way in terms of investments to have a good correlation with our Georgian parent company as a shareholder or an investor to minimize our taxes. So here we have to just lose a couple of weeks, but to do things in the good way, because rework is much worse. So once the company is registered, we have to make technical regulations for the company, and then we could get a balsam certificate, and then we could start production, so official sales could be started following that. So the first batch is going to be produced now. It's not going to be on sale either online or offline. It could only be available via a personal account by recommendation to our investors or partners. So this is the format. Basically, this is it for the major part, and now you can go ahead with your questions. The first question is about squalene, how it goes. The answer is that squalene, we're now working on the balsam now. Once the process is there, the accountable person will be in charge of the company. He would be in charge of production and accounting, and I would be able to switch to the next product, because it's going to be special production. Special news, dividends, closing sales. Good news, I have already covered them. It was also mentioned that those who have a silver or a gold status will be supplied with Fran. Is it going to be balsam or Fran? No. As agreed and as mentioned at the previous webinar, all our partners who are platinum, gold or silver, they would get a balsam course from the company for free. You have to pay for delivery only. How many participatory shares already in deferred payments out of that 250,000? Answer: I don't have this information at hand, and I could not give it to you now. I think that about 100,000 in deferred payments, approximately. The questions are coming in so fast that I don't have enough time. What are the first dividends? How they will be accrued? In a personal account or a special account? The answer is that I have already addressed this question at the previous webinar. The decision is not there as an option. It could be accrued on your bonus in your personal account or from any payment systems. One or another option is going to be there. Will there be a conveyor belt service? Answer: of course, the supplier would do the maintenance of that equipment. Is it important? how expensive is that operation or maintenance? It depends. What do you mean by operation or maintenance? I'm not sure exactly. I think that it's not going to be more complicated as any other equipment. Well, this question has been addressed. What are the conditions for storage? Sorry, I have missed this question. What are storage conditions for the product? The storage conditions at room temperature. Do you work out with a certain marketing company to sell balsam? No, we don't have special marketing activities now, but if you have any good marketing people, please advise. What's going to be the proportion of outstanding shares? Is it changed? No, it's not changed. I entered this company at the first stage. I had a deferred payment, and could you do this for those investors? I don't understand your question. Sorry. Ilgis, is it the first venture that would give fruit? Yes, Ilgis, this is 100% so. How does the developer of Balsam live? Is it ready for big volumes? Answer, he is doing well. First 100 partners would get a balm as a gift. 100 first partners, I'm not sure now. We have to think. I'm not ready to give you an answer now. Aidar, you said that the dividends would be accrued on participatory shares. Would be dividends accrued yet if the deferred payment is not yet paid? The dividends would be accrued on those things that you have paid out. You pay one by one, and every part that you have paid for, you have participatory shares, and those shares or parts of shares that you have paid already, you have dividend accruals on that. What about Francev? We have not any communications with Francev. What about ILA? Are you going to have your own cryptocurrency, and how are you going to do it? ILA is doing fine. The wish is to have a joint conference on the ground. The place is from the company. Well, ILA is suggesting to hold a conference in Sochi in September or August. However, it is dependent on a few things. What is the flights? Are there any limitations? So there are lots of things like that, and there is a wish to have this conference in Moscow. Are there any limits for event management in Moscow? If there are no limits, we can do it in July for the people to come over and to talk to each other one by one. Yes, Dmitry, the first batch is not going to be done on the conveyor belt. It's going to be delivered by another equipment, and the conveyor system will be launched later. The first batch is finished to supply balsam to those guys who have made preliminary orders, because I have lots of orders from my friends and from company employees and those who are working with us. So many want to do this prevention activities, and there are a few people who have been diagnosed with COVID-19, and they were using that balsam and they're feeling good now. So there is a full, I wouldn't say guarantee, but a full correlation between the balsam itself, that it works out in terms of help to the body, and it eliminates heavy consequences of that illness, and it boosts healing. Will bottles be packaged in cardboard boxes? Yes, the plan is to have it individual packaging for just bottles not to hit each other during transportation. And it's much better in terms of external, how to say, appearance. That box could give good associations because a bottle is a bottle, you know. How many orders, how many bottles have been pre-ordered? At the moment, if my memory serves me right, it's about 450,000 rubles or half a million rubles worth. Sorry, 450 or half a million worth of orders. I would like to have 150 participator shares on the third stage conditions. Can you book it for me? Please just write an email via our support web chat. Anton is asking, a total of 2.7 million of investment is going to be attracted. Could you provide this more information? What are the, how to say, goals to spend this amount? The goals are listed in our presentation. It's available in our Vkontakte group, and you may find aggregated information here where you can see what are the lines of activities that we're going to spend these investment funds. Sergey, could you give me a link into our common web chat, a link to that presentation materials? So the link is already in the chat. Next question. There are no more questions. Well, Anton, the dividend preliminary payment date is February 2021. Right, Anton, you're right. Well, if there are no more questions, I wish you a good evening and I wish you health.